So good morning. Welcome back to Belleville, Ontario on a beautiful Monday morning. Okay, you can't really see me there. Let's start on hands and knees, actually. Let's just go to hands and knees. Find a neutral spine. And we're going to take that right away into a cat and a cow. So we'll tuck the tail under, round the spine, bring your chin toward your chest. And then we'll arc the spine, lifting head and lifting tail. And tucking the tail under, rounding the spine, bringing the chin toward the chest. And then arcing the spine. We'll do that a few more times. Just find a nice, easy movement with your breath. Great. And then let's pick our feet up. We're going to take them out to the one side. Just look over your shoulders, see your feet, and then to the other side. One side to the other side. Looking over your shoulder versus underneath your arm. Couple more times. Make sure that you are breathing as you move. And then we're going to come back to center. Let's take that one hand. We're going to take it out to the side and go into a little rotation up. Do that again. I want you to follow your hand with your eyes, turning your chest, turning your rib cage, turning your head, and just finding a reference point as to where you're able to move. And then we'll keep our head still, keep our torso still, and follow your thumb out to the side with your eyes. So the eyes are moving with your thumb. And then keep your thumb out to the side, move your eyes back and forth between your two thumbs. And bring that hand down and go back into those rotations again, all the way up. I'm hoping that you're going to have a bigger range of motion now. Yes. And let's go all the way up and twisting under. Inhale up and exhale under. And then let's come to tall kneeling and take that hand just behind your head. And we're going to go into a little side bend. Same arm that was moving is the arm that's going up toward the sky. And you can back your head up into your hands. One more time. And then we'll come back to all fours. Let's curl the toes under, scoop the tummy in and pop your knees off the ground. I just want you to notice the difference between right side and left side. Your knees are hovering. And you may feel maybe a little more supported on the side that was working in that last exercise. We'll put the knees down and we're going to take the arm up, going into your rotation on the other side. Good. And then follow your thumb with your eyes out to the side. I'm sorry, try not to turn your head as I'm moving my head. Try not to turn your head. Nose is toward the ground. See your thumb the whole time, not just in the periphery of your vision. Your eyes are tracking your thumb. And then keep your thumb out to the side. Move your eyes back and forth between your two thumbs. And then we'll bring that hand down and then go into those rotations again. Wow. I'm always amazed at this exercise and just what freedom it brings and how the spine moves. And then let's take that same hand behind your head and go into a little side bend. Sliding one hand down the leg as the other elbow goes toward the sky. Okay, and then we'll bring that arm down. And then let's come onto our back. I was going to say, like, I already feel better, so that's good enough for today, but we'll just keep going. I don't have a smaller ball, so I'm going to use my sponge ball, which isn't ideal. It's a little big, but it's not the end of the world. You're just going to find a comfortable position, lying on your back, knees bent, feet and knees hip distance apart, and feel how you're connected to the ground, through your feet, through your pelvis. There's a little space in the lower back. Feel what part of your rib cage touches the ground, the shoulder blades. And you could inhale through the nose. Make the rib cage big and wide. And just exhale, release everything. Let's draw the low tummy toward the spine as you exhale. So scooping and flattening, almost like a little tiny zipper between your pubic bones and your belly button. You zip there. And then we're going to add on the belt around your waist. So zipping in the low tummy as you exhale, adding on the belt around your waist. And then let's put a corset on top of all of that. So we'll go low tummy zipper, belt around the waist and rib cage. You're going to snug that inside of a corset, front, sides, and back. And then we'll invite some movement into the spine again, imprinting the spine, tilting the pelvis, and then coming back to neutral. Imprinting the spine and coming back to neutral. Nice, easy, gentle movement as we try and iron out the lower back. In neutral, let's go chin toward the chest and nose toward the sky. And then let's draw some circles on the ceiling with the tip of the nose. And reverse that. Actually, I like my bigger sponge ball for this. We're going to bring, actually, if you have your sponge ball and if it's not behind your head, put it there. We're going to go hands behind the head, elbows wide, and lift the elbows a little. Bring the chin toward the chest and curl ourselves toward our legs. And then come on back down. And then again, curling toward our legs. And then back down. Exhale as we curl forward. We'll flatten in the low tummy area. Let's stay in that curl and we'll float the right leg up and down. So right leg lifting and lowering. Eyes are on your tummy. And let's do the same with the left leg, up and down. So I'm still in my curl forward. Of course, you're welcome to go down with your head on the ground. And either way, we'll switch our legs, one and then the other. And then we'll bring those feet down, take them all the way, hands down by our side. We'll start to pump the arms, inhaling 5 pumps, exhaling 5 pumps with your head on the ground or with your head lifted and your curl forward, your feet on the ground or your legs 1 or 2 in the air, or long legs and externally rotated. Pumping, inhaling 5 and exhaling 5. Eyes are on the tummy. Oh, I haven't felt my tummy in like a week, I think. It's good to feel it. Feel those muscles working, supporting you. And then we'll go hands on the knees, let the head come down and separate the knees and just circle them in opposite directions. And then reverse it. And let's take the sponge ball, put it between our knees, hands down by your side, press down your feet, press down on your shoulder blades, and raise your hips. And then let's roll down each vertebra one at a time. Press down in your feet, press down in your shoulders, lift your hips, sending those knees away from you, rolling down through the spine. Well, not much of a squeeze on the ball, but just enough to keep the ball in place. Try to find that spinal articulation. Or flat back up and down is also fine if that's better for your spine. And we'll lift our hips. We're going to stay lifted. I'm going to have you lower your hips and lift your hips. So just like a good old-fashioned Jane Fonda butt squeeze. Hips go up, hips go down. Lots of movement here. May start to feel those glute muscles. May start to feel hamstrings a little. Try to weight equally through both feet, centered in the heel and the second toe. Good. Keep the hips lifted. We're going to squeeze that ball with your knees. Squeeze and let go. Squeeze and let go. So just waking up some inner thighs here. And then come on down, back down. Let's take them all away. And I'm going to have you go with some external rotation here. And we're going to press down with the feet. I've got a little V with my feet. And then come back down. Press down with your feet. Heels are connected. Knees are open like a diamond. And we're going to lift and lower your hips again. So kind of like you're a butterfly. And we may feel those glute muscles in a different way. You might start to get a little bit of the side hip involved. And then we'll roll ourselves all the way down. Let's come back to parallel, lift the hips again. Yeah. And here we're just going to open and close the knees. So let the knees go wide and then let the knees come together. And notice what muscles you feel on the outside of your hips. If you feel one more than the other, could you just make sure that you're pressing equally into the floor with both feet? Or the less active hip, you're going to press a little more firmly with that foot into the ground. And then we'll bring ourselves all the way down. Let's come over and onto hands and knees again. Hands below shoulders, knees below hips. Let's slide the chest down toward the ground and pull the chest away from the ground. Chest goes down toward the ground and then away from the ground, so shoulder blades are sliding together and apart. Good. Spreading the fingers wide. Let's stay in our neutral position, and we're going to take your right leg behind you, flex that foot. Push back through your heel, and then we'll add your opposite arm out in front. Bring the hand down, bring the knee down. And then we'll switch, take the other leg behind you, flex the foot, and lift the leg. The leg is long, your pelvis is square to the ground. Flex the foot, push back, and add your opposite arm out in front. Breathing. And then we'll bring the hands down, bring the knees down, curl the toes under, and hover your knees. Perfect. Let's come onto our tummy. Lengthening out the legs. And bring your hands one on top of each other, forehead resting on your hands. Let's back our head away from the ground. Scooping up through the tummy, backing the head up, the rib cage, the way it touches the ground doesn't change. Notice the pressure that you feel between your ribs and the mat or the floor. And make sure you're not losing contact or changing the pressure. Let's bring our hands behind the shoulders. Keeping the eyes closed, we're going to lift the rib cage. And then come on back down. We'll do that a couple times. Raising the rib cage and lowering the rib cage. Eyes are closed, your chin is more neutral, so it's dropped towards your chest. We don't want to crank our head up. We're going to stay here, open your eyes, see what you see, and then move your eyes above that point and back to it. So you've got your focal point from when you just open your eyes. You move your eyes above it and back to it. We'll do that a few more times. And then we'll come down. Closing the eyes, let's do that lift again. See where we come to, open your eyes, focal point, move your eyes above it and back to it. So my focal point moved about by 2 inches further away from me. Not because I've raised my head up higher, but because I've raised my chest up higher. My spine is extending more. And we'll close the eyes and come on back down. Let's do that again. Lift your chest, open your eyes, fix your new focal point, move your eyes above it and back to it. I love this magical work with the eyes. Allowing our eyes to move helps free up our spine. And then come on down. And then we'll raise again. Stay here. We'll take our hands off the ground, take our legs off the ground, and we're just holding that last extension. Let's take our arms out to the side and maybe bring your hands back by your hips, opening the collarbones wide, reaching back through your fingers. And then come on down. We're going to turn our face to one side. Let your shoulders relax on the ground. Hold that and breathe. And then we'll bring our head back to center, roll the shoulders away from the ground, lift ourselves up. Add those legs. The arms are reaching back, fingertips towards your feet, palms facing the ground. And then come down and turn your face to the other side. Just relax the shoulders and come toward the ground. And then roll the shoulders back, bring our head to the middle, and we'll lift our rib cage up. And we'll take those legs behind us one last time, spreading the fingers wide. And let's come all the way up. And we'll just do a little cat here, tucking the tail under around the spine and bringing your hips back towards your heels and then coming forward and back to neutral. Tuck the tail under around the spine and gradually bring your hips back towards your heels. And then stay neutral. One more time, tuck the tail under around the spine. And then back to neutral. And we're going to bring our sponge ball. We're going to use that just behind your pelvis at the sacrum. And we're going to grab our elastic. It's a beautiful day for kayaking, so I think we need to do that today. So let's double your elastic so it is more hot. Tilt your pelvis, tuck your tail, round your lumbar spine into your ball, and then raise your arms up to the sky with your paddle in your hands. And tilt and roll it back. And then raise your arms up. And tilt and curl back. Good. This time we'll tilt and curl back. You're going to raise your paddle up to the sky, and we'll start to float our right knee up and bring it down. And keep going with just that right leg. Press your hands apart. Good. Maybe we start to feel a bit of a shake in the tummy. Welcome that. And then we'll come all the way up. We'll put the soles of the feet together, let the knees open, and be as tall as you can. Getting warmer out here. Happy about that too. And then let's come back to the same position with your paddle in your hands. Tilt the pelvis, tuck the tail, curl it back, and raise your paddle to the sky. A little bit of pressure, pressing those hands apart. Let's lift and lower the left leg. Pushing the hands apart. And then we'll come upright. And again, pressing soles of the feet together, be as tall as you can be. Let's grab our paddle again, taking our kayak into the water. We're going to go into some rotation, tilting the pelvis. My husband's sitting up here watching me, rolling his eyes. Doesn't like imaginary things. We're going to go for a little kayak. We're pulling the paddle, pulling back. So we start to feel the waist working. We have support in the lumbar spine with that ball. And then we'll come all the way up. We're going to take the ball away, put it between your knees. That's a choice. You don't have to do that, but you can. Let's tilt our pelvis, tuck our tail, roll back to your sacrum. And again, diving, paddle into the water, looking over your shoulder as you pull backwards. Keep that going. Okay, we're coming into some rapids now. So we're gonna have to paddle a little faster, a little faster. Good. Keep your kayak upright. Okay, we're through those rapids. We can go a little more smoothly, slowly. Oh, the eyes are rolling bigger in my husband's head. And then we'll come back up and put soles of the feet together again. And knees are open. And then let's take our sponge ball and move it at the base of the shoulder blades, hands behind our head. We'll go back into our extension over the ball. Oh, goodness. And we'll just hang out here. And then we're going to bring the chin toward the chest and curl ourselves toward our legs. Go back into that extension again. And curl ourselves toward our legs. So I might have stayed in that long extension, maybe a bit longer than normal, but gosh, it felt good. Let's curl ourselves toward our legs. We'll stay here. We're going to float our legs up 1 and 2. Good. We're going to dip both legs down toward the ground and then bring them up. The feet don't have to touch the floor, but maybe they do. They don't have to. You just want to really focus on keeping your pelvis and your lumbar spine neutral, such that we're not flexing or arching our back as we're dipping the legs down, like touching your feet to the ground or dipping your toes in the water. And we'll put our feet down, go back into extension again. And curl ourselves up. Let's lengthen our legs out. Extend the arms, round the spine, reach up and over, pointing the toes. Coming up nice and tall, flexing our feet and rolling ourselves back. Inhaling. And exhaling, chin toward the chest, round the spine, reach up, reach over, pointing the toes. And coming all the way up tall, flexing the feet and rolling back. Let's stay tall. If you're better with a block, you sit on your block. We'll go into some sawing. We'll take the arms out. Let's just do some rotations first. So twisting to the right, twisting to the left. Pelvis not moving, and therefore legs are not moving. No traveling of your feet. Let's add some little pulses on the end of those rotations. 3 to the right, and then 3 to the left. Again. Let's take that into the saw. So we'll rotate and hinge from your hips, reaching forward like you're sawing off your baby toe. Again, a little rotation and a hinge. So we try not to round the spine. The hand that's going behind we paddle that palm to the sky. Think about trying to sort of bring your chest onto your leg, but with a long spine. And then we'll take our ball away. Let's wrap our elastic around your right foot. And we're going to do some rowing here. So we'll pull back with the elbows, pull back, opening the collarbones, being as tall as you can. Oh, little bumblebee. I'm afraid of bees. As I sit in a big patch of flowers all around me. Let's take the arms out. Tilt your pelvis, tuck your tail, roll yourself down to the ground. And we'll take the hands, not the hands, but your leg to the sky. And we'll point and flex your right foot in your elastic. And we'll circle the foot at the ankle. And then reverse the circle. And then let's bring the leg across the body and then to the outside of the body. I want you to imagine that your body is anchored in concrete. So the leg goes across the body. The pelvis doesn't move. And as the leg goes to the outside of the body, the pelvis also does not move, nor does the rib cage. Bring the leg across the body, circle it down toward the ground, around to the outside. We'll keep that going. And then reverse it. And then we'll switch our feet in the elastic. And we're going to point and flex the left foot. Dave, you should borrow your hedge trimmer from your dad for the cedars. And we'll circle the foot at the ankle. Sorry about that interruption there. You know, when you think of something and then you wish that you had said something at the time because then you forget. That was one of those things. We'll reverse that. And then keeping your torso steady, we're going to bring the leg across the body and then bring it to the outside of the body. And bring it across and to the outside. So leg bone moving in the hip joint. Torso not moving at all, pelvis not moving at all, bringing the leg across the body. Circle it down and around and out. And then reverse it. And then we'll take the elastic away. Just pull that left knee in close to your chest. Point the toes on both feet. Try to hug your leg so that your thigh touches your rib cage. And then hug that right leg close to your chest. Straighten out your left leg. Hug the thigh close to your rib cage. Point toes on both feet. Let's slide the right hand to the right ankle, left hand at the knee. Bring your head up or keep your head down and float your left leg in the air. We'll switch our legs, switch our hands, and switch our legs and switch our hands. Inhaling and exhaling. And let's go a little more quickly. Pull, push, pull, push. And then we'll slow it down again. The torso staying steady, not rocking from side to side. And then bring your head down. Let's circle the knees in one direction. The knees moving together. And reverse it. And we'll come to neutral. Hands are by your feet. Flex your feet. Send arms and legs opposite direction. Angle the legs such that your spine does not arch, that you stay neutral. So maybe a little more toward the sky, on the diagonal toward the ceiling and the wall. Head staying down or head lifting, keeping knees together as though you have one leg. Inhaling and exhaling. And then we'll keep both legs to the sky, hands behind your head. Little external rotation. And we'll start to dip both legs down. You can also do this with bent knees if that's better. And then we'll bring the head down. Let's bring your hands around so the backs of your hands are in front of your shoulders. Your elbows are lifted. Your feet are together. Your knees are together. And we're going to curl ourselves up. Extend your arms and extend your legs. And then we'll come back down. We'll do some coordination. We'll curl ourselves forward, pushing those legs out. You can also do this with your head on the ground. Next time that you curl up, we'll stay there. We're going to open the legs and close the legs 3 times, just the width of your mat. And then come on back down. Curl ourselves up. Extend the legs, open, close, open, close, open, close, and then come on back down. Again, we'll curl it up. Open, close, open, close, open, close. 2 more sets like that. Are you breathing as you do this? Just not holding your breath anywhere. And then we'll come back down. Again, we'll circle the legs together in one direction. And reverse it. And then we'll take legs together up to the sky. We'll pull one leg towards you as you press the other leg down to the ground. Keep that going. Bring your chin toward your chest. Come on up to your curl forward if that works better for you. And then we'll bring the knees in, hands behind our head again. Feet to the ground, curling up and crossing toward one knee. Down, curl up and cross toward the other knee. You're welcome to keep the feet on the ground. Raise the knee that you're turning toward. Keep both knees in the air. And do a little twist. And a twist. Keeping the weight in the pelvis so the hips do not roll from side to side. And we'll come back down, putting feet on the ground. We're just going to roll the pelvis and the legs from one side to the other. If you're able to keep hands behind your head, you'll do that. And then let's come over and onto hands and knees again. Hands below shoulders, knees below hips. Let's curl the toes under. Scoop the tummy in and float the knees off the ground. Let's step it back to a plank position. Push back through your heels. So the hips are low. Let's come down to your forearms. Hold that and breathe. Let's come back to your hands. Hold that and breathe, and then walk those knees in. So you still have your knees in a hover. Let's step our feet back to plank again. Hold, breathe. Tall on those arms. Come on down to your forearms. Push back through your heels, it does help. Come back to your hands. And walk the knees in. Keep the knees at a hover. We're not putting them down yet. Of course, if you need to, you've already done that, but come back to it. Step back to plank again. Come down to your forearms. Come back to your hands. And then walk those knees in. And we're going to come down and to a tall kneeling position. I'm just going to move my screen up a step here. I guess you got a flower in the way, but move the pot. All right, so we're tall kneeling and hands at the rib cage and the pelvis, and we're going to sit the hips back. Feel how the sits bones widen as we do that. And then let's take our right leg out to the side. The leg is long, and we're going to glide your hips back. So feeling maybe a nice stretch on the inner thighs here. My knee. I have to find the right position for my knee on the paving stones underneath this mat. I'll take the arms out and come into a little side bend. And then come on back up. And come into a side bend. And then back up. And then let's come over to that side bend and lift the leg. You can take the other hand to the sky. We're going to kick the leg forward, point the toe, and kick back. If this doesn't feel great today, go down to your side and do the same series, side lying with your hips on the ground. If you're here, try to make yourself really light on that bottom hand on the ground. You could even come up to your fingertips if you want. And let's bring our leg in line with the body. We're going down toward the ground and then back up. Keep the leg lifted, point the toe and circle. Reverse that circle. And then bring that leg down. We're going to come into that side bend. Over. Again. Let's come over on the diagonal and we'll open and close the arms here. Stay with the arms in front or take the arms over your head. And then we'll come up again. And then let's sit on that hip of the leg that was moving. So we're going to sit on the hip, separate the knees. So you're like a little mermaid here. We're going to go into a little side bend here. One side to the other. Mm-hmm. And then let's fold ourselves forward. And then bring your hands behind your hips and lift your hips. Bring the hips down, fold forward. And then raise your hips. Again. And then we're going to bring that one leg in front. The leg that was working, it's going to cross over on top. We can stay like that, or you can put your foot down to the ground. We're stretching the hip that we were working with. Well, we're kind of stretching both, but a bigger stretch on the hip that was the working leg. And then we'll come back to hands and knees. Hands below shoulders, knees below hips. Curl the toes under. Let's float those knees off the ground again. Notice the difference, right leg, right hip, left hip. Step back to a plank position. Push back through your heels. Come on down to your forearms. Come on back to your hands. Bend the knees. Keep the knees at a hover if you're able to. Again, step back to your feet into a plank position. Push back through your heels. Come down to your forearms. A breath or two here. Come back to your hands. A breath or two here, and then bring the knees in. One more time, step it back to plank. Come down to your forearms. Come back to your hands. And then bring those knees in. And we'll bring the knees down. Rounding the spine, let's come up. Hands at the pelvis again. And we'll hinge at the hips. Good, let's take the leg out to the side. And I gotta find the right patio stone here. There we go. Sitting the hips back. And then coming forward. It's the right spot. Sitting the hips back. It's in the right spot. Better. Let's go into the side bend. Yeah, let's come over to the side bend. And we're going to raise that leg, the arm. We're going to kick it front and back. I feel like my head is behind the plant because I can't see my computer screen, but that's all right. You can see my leg, and that's kind of all that matters. Going forward and back. Let's bring the leg to center. We're going down and up. Flex foot parallel to the ground, down and up. Keep the leg lifted, point the toes, and go with some circles. and then reverse it. Good, and then come all the way up. Right spot, sorry. Video stones I don't think were meant for Pilates. Let's stay out on the diagonal and we'll bring the hands together in the front. Arms over the head if you want that option. You're on the diagonal, so we are working with the obliques muscles. Side waist. And we'll go into that side bend. And then we'll come to a seated position with our feet to the other side. And then we'll go side bend again to the forearm. And then toward the legs. Make sure that you've changed the direction of your legs so that we can work on stretching out the hip that was the working leg. And then we'll fold our body forward toward the ground. Bringing hands behind your hips and lifting your hips. Folding forward. And then raising the hips. And then stretching out that hip, however you like to do that. Bring the leg across the body, or just stay in that forward folded position and breathe. Both hips on the ground. And then we'll come back to hands and knees again. Hands below shoulders, knees below hips. Curl the toes under and hover your knees. Step yourself back to a plank position. Let's put heels together, toes turned out, so we have a little V with our feet and our heels are connected. I want you to zip from your heels right up the back of your legs to your glute muscles. So you're really squeezing your bum. We're holding. Push back down through your heels. Keep them connected. We could stay here for a very long time with that connection. Zip up through the back of the legs. Don't let that go. You're really squeezing your bum. Squeeze your pants with your legs. And then we'll bring our hips to the sky. Separate the feet and we'll go for a little run. Pedaling the feet, bending one knee and then the other, tailbone to the sky. And then gradually walk our feet toward our hands. Bend our knees a little, round the spine and come all the way up. Big inhale. Round the spine and come forward, chin toward the chest, hands toward the ground. And we'll step our feet back to a plank again. Bring the knees down. We'll do 3 little tricep presses. Good. Lift the knees, push back through the heels, lift your hips high. And this time we're going to walk our feet toward our hands. Bending our knees a little, rounding the spine and rolling up to tall standing. Kicking the arms up. Rounding the spine. Bringing the hands to the ground. Walking ourselves out into one last plank. One more set of tricep presses from your hands or, from your feet or from your knees. And then push back through the heels. Lift the hips high. We'll walk it out again. Walk the feet toward the hands. Bend the knees around the spine and come all the way up to tall standing, taking the arms up. Big inhale. Let's go into a little side bend to the right. And then to the left. And we'll bring the arms around and down. Roll the shoulders. And reverse that. Did much more arm work than I anticipated. It just felt good today, though. I hope you liked it. Let's take the arms up. Big inhale. Hands are coming to the heart. I wish you a wonderful day. What a spectacular day. Do enjoy it. And I will see you Thursday for body art.